Excellent question here. So short answer, no. Anyone who is Reformed would affirm the five solas, but affirming the five solas alone does not make one Reformed. And I'll get into what being Reformed means in its basic definition. So I've heard people go back and forth on whether or not it's 3 C's or 4 C's. I'm going to go ahead and go with the 4 C's, and here's what those are. So the first one is being Calvinistic in your thought process as how God chooses to distribute his grace. Calvinism is a large subject that I won't get into in this video, but anyone who is Reformed would also be Calvinistic. The second thing that anyone Reformed would affirm would be covenant theology. The opposite of that would be dispensationalism. It's another big topic, and in the Men of the Way podcast, we actually did an episode on covenant theology, so I recommend you going and taking a look at that. But anyone who's Reformed would also affirm covenant theology. The third one would be to affirm a confession of faith, and there's quite a few of those out there. Some of the more well-known ones would be the Heidelberg, the Westminster, of course, which is the one I personally affirm, the 1689 London Baptist, or the New Hampshire Baptist. There's a number of confessions of faith out there, but essentially what those are small, short summaries of each of the doctrines that are pulled directly from Scripture, summarized in a way that's easy to digest and understand. And the last C would be cessationist. Essentially what that means is that the apostolic and prophetic offices have ended and are no longer in use today. Now that doesn't mean that God can't or won't do miraculous signs and wonders, but he is much less likely to, because we have a full canon of Scripture, and if you do see a sign or wonder, tongues, whatever you might want to think of, it would be for the purpose of spreading the gospel. Now each one of these topics does require a pretty good amount of in-depth study of the Bible and some deeper understanding that I don't really recommend you jumping into alone. That's why discipleship is so very important. So I welcome anyone to ask questions to me if you like. DM me, I'm happy to help. That's the reason I created this channel, is E.Disciple, is trying to help disciple people remotely. But if there's anything I would recommend, this platform, or me especially, does not replace the discipleship of a pastor or the people that are appointed to be elders in your church. Definitely hook up with some of them and ensure that you're being discipled and guided and shepherded in the way biblically that we've been instructed to. I hope that helps.